Lads, I'm going to be honest. I think this might, in fact, be the worst big three of all time because, unlike some of the other really bad big threes, like this is you can't get anything for it. Like this is worse than when the Lakers added Russ. Because at least when the Lakers added Russ, they were able to somehow turn Russ into D'Lo, who got into the conference finals the next year. They played 1 year with Russ and they were able to get something from him. The problem is you have to give up a bunch of assets to get rid of Bradley Beal. You have to give up a bunch of assets to get rid of Bradley Beal. And this team, they are going to they're going to have zero playoff wins. They're going to have zero playoff wins. They're probably not going to make the play-in. Let's look at the teams. They're the 12th seed right now. Are they better than the Kings? No. They're not better than the Kings. Are they better than the Warriors? Maybe. I think the Warriors might fall. Are they better than the Spurs? No. Are they better than the Timberwolves? No. Are they better than the Clippers? Maybe, but I think the Clippers are just going to hang on a bit. Are they better than the Lakers? No. Mavs? No. Like, how many games are they behind the Mavs who might drop? They're, 4 games behind the Mavs who actually just beat the Lakers, who aren't even that bad? It means they've got a bunch of good players around them. And you've now got a dysfunctional situation where it's now Beal coming off the bench who doesn't even really want to be there, but he's not going to waive his no trade clause. And KD's 37 and Booker's hooping. Booker's absolutely hooping, but like, this is a disaster. This is an absolute disaster. They got swept in embarrassing fashion last year by the Minnesota Timberwolves in a series they were expected by a lot of people to win. Me included. To be fair, I severely underrated the Timberwolves last year. I'll admit it, I severely underrated them. But like, we are not even halfway through the season, and they're 14 games back on the 1 seed. I repeat, they are 14 games back. What did they win last year? Were they even 14 games back by the end of the season last year? So last year, they won 49 games. They were 8 games back on the 1st seed by the end of last season. They're halfway through and they're 14 games back. Like, they won 49 games last year. If they win 40, it's a miracle. And I mean that. They are in free fall. They're 2-8 in their last 10. And let's not forget how well this team started. This team started so well. And if you start as well as this team did, and suddenly it just goes bad all of a sudden, it's really difficult to pull it back because you've got no assets either. You've given up all your first round picks. You're trying to do everything you can to get Jimmy Butler, and you're going to pay Jimmy Butler the max. Like Matt Ishbia has, like you've got an owner who doesn't believe in first round picks. And I'm not joking when I say that. He doesn't believe in draft picks. He literally said at the start of before last season that, something like 28 other NBA teams would kill for the players we have. They would kill for individually him, maybe Ryan Dunn, considering what he's doing as a rookie. But that's it. They're the only players that are worth anything for the Phoenix Suns. At this stage, they're not even the best basketball team in America named after the freaking sun. The Connecticut Sun at least are decent. They're at least decent. Obviously, they're not spectacular or anything. They were good last year, but they're going to lose a few players. But it doesn't really matter what I'm talking about because this big three right here is maybe, like, it's worse. I'm telling you this right now, it's worse than the Lakers' big three because at least with the Lakers' big three, Nash got hurt, so there's an excuse. The reality is that Kevin Durant is the only one of these players that's really been hurt. And even when they're all healthy, they're not good. Like, maybe Russ, AD, and LeBron. But AD missed a ton of that season. If Russ and LeBron, or if AD and LeBron were healthy that whole year, they still make the play in. I don't think this team makes the play in. And the worst part is they have untradeable contracts. They have absolutely, they're untradeable. So I don't know what they can do. I don't know what the Phoenix Suns can do because they've got nothing. They've got absolutely nothing. Like, they have to trade Bradley Beal, who's going to refuse to trade his no trade clause to pretty much anywhere. So they've got Bradley Beal, who's going to refuse a no trade clause, refuse to be traded, and you've got Kevin Durant, who by the time Bradley Beal's contract is done, is going to be pushing 40. Then you've got Devin Booker, who's, if I'm not mistaken, he's a couple of weeks younger than me. I think he's 28. Because I remember Devin Booker was the first player in the NBA that is younger than me. Yeah, he's a month younger than me. He was the first player I remember being like, oh, what, damn, he's younger than me, when he got drafted. So you've now got like 3 players there that are not on the same timelines. Bradley Beal's on nobody's timeline. I'm sorry, his timeline was the John Wall era. Kevin Durant is about to retire within the next 3 years. To be fair, I could see Kevin Durant being the guy to keep playing till he's like 45 and averaging like 8 points a game. Like Kevin Durant, people are like, oh, could LeBron do that? I think LeBron and KD could do that. I think KD might just go and do that because he just wants to hoop. He couldn't care less about legacy or anything. He just wants to play basketball for as long as he can. So maybe he'll go and stay for another bunch of years. But like him as a max contract player, his window is the next 2 years, and the Suns aren't going to get him a ring. Even if they added Jimmy Butler's just a culture set. He's still got 3 guys that need the ball in their hand. Realistically, if they could somehow figure a way to get a Michael Porter Jr. Because you might be saying, oh, MPJ needs the ball in his hand. He does need the ball in his hand, but he'll shoot every time he touches it. So he's cool with not touching the ball for a while, but he's going to shoot every time he touches it. Like, I'd be looking for an MPJ more than I'd be looking for a Jimmy if I'm this team. Obviously, Jimmy's there for culture. And they also supposedly have locker room issues. Supposedly there's locker room issues. I was listening to Jeff Teague's podcast. There's locker room issues with this team. So I'm just like, what's going on? What is just like, I feel bad for any Phoenix Suns fans because you've got Matt Ishbia who literally just has a he just doesn't seem to know. Just because he played basketball and was decent at the sport. And if every single NBA owner had a one-on-one competition in their prime, Matt Ishbia cooks a lot of them. That doesn't mean that he's a good owner, has any idea. Like, the man doesn't believe in draft picks and actually thought that they'd one of the 3 or 4 best rosters in the NBA. I'm sorry, like, after the Phoenix Suns did not win the Chris Paul year, like, Beal was a dumb trade. Like, yeah, you need to get off Chris Paul, but you have just taken a $50 million. You've taken a guy who is worth about $15 million. You're paying him $50, and he's one of the 2 players in the league with no trade clause. So, Phoenix, don't know what you've been. Don't know what you're trying to do. Don't know. Honestly, have no idea what you're trying to do, what the plan is, just what the short-term or long-term plan is. But, like, this is the worst big 3 maybe ever. But anyway, I'll see you guys.